Have an SSU. That was a 12-bar acoustic blues solo by Eric Clapton from his version of Drifting Blues at Budokan in 2009. In today's video we're going to break down Eric Clapton's essential acoustic blues licks taken from his covers of Drifting Blues and Rambling on My Mind. At the end of this video I will also teach you the whole 12-bar acoustic blues solo you have just heard here in the beginning. And yeah, I would say let's dive right in. Now this lick of the one chord he even plays twice here, which just goes to show you can implement these licks a lot. So he starts out by sliding on the 4th fret of a G string with the open E before that, and you will get that nice droning sound. And there's a triplet feel all the way through. Then we will add the -7th interval here. Then we will slide back into the first position. And then this is pretty cool, implementing the major 6th interval here from a major pentatonic. It's basically walking down the scale. And then a little cool trill on the major 3rd here. Then he's picking up the high E and B string for a little upstroke. It's going directly to a 5 for bar 9. So there's really bar 7 and 8 before bar 9. This is the 1. Now this one is a 4-chord lick of the A7, and he's starting out by going, lending itself to the A note, and then suggesting the A7 here, by playing here the major 3rd of the A7, and feel free to really dig into that little bend here. Not a big bend, but it's there. And then he's gonna play that bend 6 times in a row. It's got a dragged feel about it. Yep. Then this little lick here. Then there's the lick which we had in the last lick. Just a slide here. And then he's changing from triplet feel to 16th feel, which is very interesting. Playing this little lick here. It's just a pull off to a G string, then the E note, and then a 4th interval, then a hammer on onto the major 3rd, E note, and then the the low E string and the high string. But play it very fast. So that's basically the end tag of that. So with a bit before. Again slow. Now this is a cool lick of a fourth chord which Eric is playing very often. I've seen it in other solos, and it's one where he goes to this BB King position here, and it's gonna slide to the fourth position and then goes all the way back down on the lower strings to the first position in E. So basically he starts out like he's often doing, right? Suggesting the A with the A note. And then this little phrase here, we are going to do it in bits. And then you can either here slide with your middle finger or the ring finger. I personally prefer the middle finger, but Eric might be doing it with his ring finger. Important here is the quick hammer on the pull-off. Then he's sliding to a third position. By playing the minor 7th, you have a 7th fret G string. Pulling off to the 7th fret from a 9th fret D string. And sliding here to a minor 3rd. And then doing this 4th fret, where you have to roll your ring finger. Then walking down the scale. Pulling off here, pulling off again. Oh. That's basically the end of this lick. Pulling off here from a minor 3rd. And then he goes to the E chord and plays the E, and then the low E. So with a bit before. And with the intersection to the A. Okay, let's play it slow again since it's not that easy. And then he will play this thing for the bar 11. And then the 5 chord. You can all watch that back in the video. Now there's a very cool blue note lick you can play over 4 of the 1 chord. Playing around with a blue note twice here. So he starts out by playing the minor 3rd on the lower strings, walking up a scale, and then a hammer on and pull off on the blue note, and then playing the E note 3 times in a row. So 3 different E notes: low E, middle E, and high E. Hybrid picked here with his ring finger. Then he's gonna play the low E again and play this very cool droning lick. Again, sliding with his middle finger into the blue note and picking the B and E string as well. And this is all downpicked, so down, 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 to get that staccato feel. Very cool, try it out for yourself.
Son got the blues about me.
Now this section is very difficult to play, but it's very cool. It's got some very cool licks, and we're gonna break this down in different parts. So keep in mind you have to do this with your fingers, not with a pick, to get the same sound. Although everything he plays is possible to play with a pick, but we're gonna try it with fingers. So it's gonna start out by playing the low E string, and then with his other fingers the open B and E string. Then 3 times in a row, he's gonna hammer onto the E note with his middle finger in the low position here, while picking the low E. And then again, this hammer on and pull off on the blue note. And he's gonna end it like this. Now this is a very syncopated, cool, but difficult phrase to play. It's very call and response like. Now he's gonna play the low E, and then he's gonna slide a few times into that double stop 10 and 12 here on the E and B string. And I think he's brushing that with his index finger. And then 4 times in a row, that's very important, he's gonna, very staccato style, slide into that from 1 fret below. Like that. Then he's gonna pick the high E or B string. It's not that important which string, but that you're picking something so you keep in rhythm. Because he's gonna play for the transition to the next bar. So that's high B or E string, low E, 3rd fret on the E, and then the A string. Kinda like that. Because that's the response for his chord. And that's starting off the same way. But then he goes to 9 and 10, and then to 7 and 8, and it's gonna pick the high E string. Kinda like that. Then he's gonna play a cool drone lick here in the bottom position. The low E, high E. Then it's gonna slide onto the B string into the E note. And it's gonna pick that like 3 times. So you get both E notes on the B string and the E string ringing out. Then he plays the 3rd fret, low open B string. Then that slide again from blue note, pull off, and then the E. Then just like we had before, low E, high E, then a pull off from the minor 7th interval to a major 6th interval, and then pull off to the, what would that be, the 5th interval, 2nd fret at the G string, and then we hammer on onto the major 3rd of the E chord. And then this little transitioning line, which we've heard before, to go to the A. So low E, 3rd fret, 4th fret, and A. Oh, not that clean, but you get the point. Now these two licks are very cool 10 12 bar blues loop. So he's playing the low E because we had the E chord at bar 11. And then he's sliding all the way here to the 4th position of the E minor pentatonic. Plays that little bending lick. Gives some vibrato here onto the minor 3rd of the E minor chord. It's playing the low E again. And then he's picking through a B7 chord for bar 12. So you have to imagine the last 2 bars are 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And he's replacing this with are for bar 7 and 8 to go to a 5 chord on bar 9. Again, he starts out by playing the low E and the high E, a recurring pattern. And then 2 triplets, so picked from below though. And you can clearly hear the high E note ringing out. Then a slide with his middle finger from the 4th fret G string to a 2nd fret. Then a pull off to the open G, and then the E note. And then this lick we had a few minutes before, but this time we are not going to the 4 chord, but we're going to a 5. Which just goes to show you, you can do almost anything you want. It's so cool. Into section as well. He starts up by sliding into this, what would it be called, the triad. It's actually a G triad here, 7th fret G string, 8th fret B string, and 7th fret E string. It's interesting, he's bending that a little bit and is picking from below all the time. And then high E string, low E string, 3rd fret again, as with almost all the obviously licks, and then A string. Then this little cool phrase here. It's just a little lick here on the high strings. And then a pull off from the 4th interval here to the major 3rd. Then he continues with almost the same beginning. And then goes to 4 chord. This here is playing around with the 4 chord, even before the 4 chord hits. So from the start. Now this one is a stock phrase we have already heard before, but the one he's gonna play on a 4 chord, that's also a very distinct stock phrase Clapton has used in a lot of drifting blues versions. So check it out. He starts out with the same double stop, which we had before. This lick we had before as well. And this time he goes this route to go to a 4 chord. Plays the open A, and then the second fret of a D and G string. And then this phrase, very cool. Hammer onto the 4th fret from the 3rd fret of the A string. And then plays around with the -7th interval of the A chord here, the 5th fret of a D string. Now this one is a variation of that. He starts out with the E7 first. Then plays the low E, low A. Starts out exactly the same way. And a little slap here. Then the same motive. But this time another rhythm. And then this phrase comes again. Just make sure you bend this slightly. And important here, this little hammer on after the bend. Play this here with this -7th interval of the A chord with a ring finger or your pinky. That's totally on your choice, or totally your choice. How Clapton has ever started an acoustic blues solo section. He's starting out by sliding into this double stop, which we've had before. And then goes to the shuffle. So you don't have to play the low E all the time, the low E. He's starting out by and is adding the low E later, but I like to keep that going all times. And then he goes here back to a shuffle. And then this is really difficult to do because you have to switch from fingers to the pick down below here at the strings. So you're starting off the same way. And then these notes are picked with your middle or ring finger, whichever you prefer. But then the slide here is picked with a pick. And you can hear that clearly in the video. And then this little motive to go to the A. So again slowly. Okay, now let's learn that 12-bar blues solo from the beginning very slowly together. Let's start. And here it is slow. If you have learned something in this video, then please leave a like, subscribe to the channel down below and activate the bell. Also, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Even with a small amount, it would help very much. You get downloadable tabs, early access, guitar profiles, and you will be part of a very cool community. I would say until then, I hope you're doing good and have a good time. Bye bye.